Today on Reese Dixon, we are knocking off a designer pillow and saving ourselves a fortune. Hi everybody, it's Teresa with ReeseDixon.com. So I am working on creating this gorgeous bedding to go in my made-over master bedroom. And this project is one that I first made for my sister-in-law. She was at one of those super high-end, fancy boutiques and found this gorgeous pillow that cost like $300 or something. And we both went, who would spend $300 on a pillow? And luckily, she knows me, and so she could just say, hey Tree, can you make me this pillow? And I did, but I loved it so much, I had to make some for myself too. So for starters, I have this fabric. Mine is kind of a herringbone design in this creamy blush color. The one that she wanted was pretty close to kind of a burlap, a little woven texture, but it didn't have the roughness of a burlap. It just kind of had that look. And mine is cut to the size that I want my pillow. And now what I'm going to do is take this little candy dish and I'm going to use it to draw on a whole bunch of circles. So I use both the big side and the little side. So I get two different shapes, and I'm just doing this completely randomly. And since it's such a light colored fabric, I can just use a dark colored pencil. And I'm just going to draw these circles on all over, making them, you know, interlock and overlap, and just however I see fit to put them on. The more random, the better. So you really don't want to try to overthink this too much. You want a little bit of chaos going on. There, okay. So I'm not sure if you can see this on camera or not, because the pencil lines are very light still, but I've got all of my circles overlapping there. And now all I have to do is bling this baby out and it's done. Like, it's an extremely simple project. It takes a little while to put the rhinestones on, but it's so satisfactory. You can just sit there doing it while you're watching television. And meanwhile, you have this gorgeous pillow that's all blinged out, but then the contrast between that woven fabric, that simple woven fabric, and then these blinged out rhinestones is so gorgeous. So this is my heat setting tool. It's that tip is, I'm using a 3mm tip because I'm putting on these tiny little bitty rhinestones. But you have a tip that corresponds with the size of the rhinestones you're using. So you just put the right tip on your tool, let it get nice and hot like it is right now. And then you just, I've got my, my one little rhinestone there. And I'm gonna just outline those circles. Just everywhere where I drew a line, I'm gonna put rhinestones down on top. And I'm going to alternate the sizes. I've got some little tiny rhinestones and some that are a little bit bigger. And so I'm going to switch back and forth just to give it a little bit more interest, just a little more depth to the effect of the bling. So with my rhinestone in place, I just take my little tool, set it right down on top, and I just sit here for a few seconds. Since this pillow is going to get a little bit of wear, you know, you're going to be tossing it around, I'm going to take it a little bit extra time just to make sure that this sucker gets so good and stuck and that the fabric has a minute to kind of absorb that glue. So I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to put on a movie and just sit here. That's plenty of time right there. And now my rhinestone is stuck. So I'm going to do that over and over and over again until I get this whole pillow just gorgeously blinged out. And then I'll show you how to finish it. It just took me an evening in front of the television, and now I have all of my rhinestones on, and I was a little bit rough with it when I was done, just to make sure that these things are not going anywhere, so that I don't have to worry about being too gentle with it when it's in use. These suckers are good and stuck. So now I'm going to make it into my pillow and finish it just like I've been doing with all of these other pillows I've been making. I'm going to do another overlap closure. So again, I have two pieces of fabric that are both cut so that they will overlap once I lay them on the piece. So depending on how big you make your pillow, you'll just want to add a total between the two pieces of like a good 6 inches or so that you've got room to hem that side and then have a good 2.5 inches of overlap as well. So that's 2 sides that are both hemmed, and then you just line them up with the edges like so, and then let that overlap and sew all the way around. And once you get that sewn, you can turn it right side out and then just stick a pillow form in. You can get pillow forms any place you buy your fabric, but I tend to prefer to make my own. And so I've got one already finished right here. This is how it will look when it's all done. I love the contrast between the blinged out rhinestones and the woven herringbone fabric and kind of that plain. The color I chose is a little bit pinky, a little bit blush, but it still has that kind of beige burlap, you know, effect. It's certainly a big contrast to the rhinestones, and so I love how that looks. And here's the pillow form that I made with just whatever fabric was on discount and stuffed with some batting. And then you just tuck it in and overlap it, and then this thing's ready to go on your bed. So I love how it turned out, and it does not look homemade. It totally looks like the $300 pillow that inspired this, but made for a fraction of it. Probably not even, what, a 20th of it? And I think that's a pretty good deal. So if you have any questions, be sure and leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel so you can see how gorgeous this looks when the whole room is put together. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.